Welcome back. I have something really exciting to share with you. Yeah, so don't go nowhere. Please stay. Here comes the sun. All right, what you're looking at here is my Make Playing Cards shop space. That's right. I'm hoping that my other designs, which is the same design, but I have some other options available. So, but this I think is the standard economic, and even though it's more expensive than a regular, because it's the standard smooth and it's just shrink wrapped. So in other words, nothing special being added. But I created an oracle deck, but I also created the guidebook to go with it. And the guidebook can be found on my Ko-fi. Yes. So you can get that from my Ko-fi shop. Now, it's free, but I upcharged on here just a little bit because, it took a little time. It's not perfect because, I'm a human and I did everything manually, my sister says, Carla, your formatting sucks. Okay, it does. It really does. And I am so thankful to her because she helped me get this put in there. So it's like, I didn't have to navigate it. She just walked me through it. And I'm so grateful because you know what it is? It's having that person with a wealth of knowledge that's already done the hard work for you, helping you guide you through stuff. And I will tell you, if you have not checked out my sister's Patreon, for $8.88 a month, you are also privy. Yes, I'm putting a plug in because that's how grateful I am to her. She is amazing and a wealth of knowledge because she has been doing this type of stuff and more, digitally creating things, graphics, to everything, for years. For I think she said 20 years. I think she's been doing stuff like this, and yeah, it's the truth. She's been creating like flyers and all sorts of she should be a graphic designer. I mean, she's just amazing. Okay, I'm enough with the plug. Oops, what was that? Was that booger? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm going to be doing another walkthrough of this when I get it, because I ordered it's another version of this, but there's an extra card now where my prototype had a blank card, and the backs that I have now are different. They are a darker color, because also the ones that I have coming will have like a holographic gilding, and they'll be in a tin. So I have that coming, and I am so excited because I paid extra for all of that, but I figure it's going to be one of my workhorses. So yeah, so it's available on my Ko-fi shop now for free. But, I mean, I created it to go with this. So, yeah. All right. So, that was long-winded. You want to look at the cards? All right, let's look at the cards. Okay, so here it is on my Make Playing Cards. So, my sister also created these designs for me. You know she did. The pictures. But these are what the backs look like now. I don't know if will that let you? Anyway, yeah, that's what the backs look like now. They've got and you can see from these, you can see the difference. These have more brown and gold, where these have more of like a blue hue, kind of purplish hue. So yeah, and I think that this would go better with the holographic. So yes, this is some of the design that you'll see, and there will be an extra card in the ones that you get that will have the QR code that'll take you right to my Ko-fi shop so that you can get your guidebook. All right, let's go through some cards so you can see what this deck is about. All right, so this Oracle deck is a 52 card deck, and it is designed to help you explore the parts of yourself often left unacknowledged. So I have separated them into 4 different groups in which you will see a sigil that represents each one. We have the wounds, which reveal the origins of pain when it first, like when you, as a child, when you first experienced certain things that cause you pain now. The echoes, which are the next group of cards, I think I made 18 of those. Those uncover the patterns that repeat in adulthood because of the wounds. And then I have a group, I think there's 10 of those, 10 or 12, the inner child. And those call you to listen to your younger self. And we see and they're not always bad, okay? So the inner child, I have some beautiful cards in there, I think are beautiful, that remind you of who you are or where you're coming from. And believe me, it's not all bad. And the healing path is, there's another sigil for those that offers medicine to restore wholeness. So let's look at these. And again, you will see this is the sigil up here represents what group of cards you are looking at, and these are the wounds. So we got violence, abuse, witnessed. Now I'm going to tell you that these are AI created images, but I created them in Canva. So I pay for the pro version, and Canva helped me to create them. Rejection. I want to make sure that you understand I did not draw these or paint them. Rejection. Direct abuse. But these are, I am a licensed exempt child caregiver in Michigan. I'm a provider, child care provider. And these were inspired by the ACE study, which is Adverse Childhood Experiences. So, it's not just to help you today, but it's also, and to help you identify things. It's also to help us raise our children today so that they have less of what we call shadow work later on. I think that we all are going to have that regardless, but if we can make things better today, then I think tomorrow will be better. And I think isn't that what we all want? Direct abuse, abandonment, physical neglect, emotional neglect, addiction in the home, parentification, household chaos, parental divorce, separation. All right, now we're into the echoes. And again, these are the patterns that repeat in adulthood. That's kind of like, you know, these patterns that should warn us that we need to dig and understand why we have these patterns. Self-sabotage, emotional shutdown, perfectionism, fear of intimacy, people-pleasing, yeah. Addiction, compulsions, anxiety spiral, shame spiral, dissociation, difficulty trusting, anger outburst, escapism, chronic guilt, depression fog, fear of abandonment, control issues, overachiever identity, fear of authority. Okay, so now we are getting into the inner child. And these, again, these are who we are now that are also indications of things from our childhood, that they're not always bad, but they can still help us to identify understanding, you know, awareness. The crying child. The crying child. I just want to say this real quick in here is when my ex-husband passed, he was so young, and there was a lot of bad things between us. But I saw a broken child die. And I'll tell you, I've said it before in past lives and, you know, here talking about, you know, my own journey, is that that's all of us. We are all still that child. And so when we think about these inner child cards, that's still who we are. You know what I mean? If you're still struggling and there's still things you can't let go of, and, you know, if there's some victim mentality that is happening, it's because you're still crying. You know what I mean? You're still, and it's hard to, you're not healing. And so this is a card that really a lot, I think, like even for myself, I wanted to make it the cover because it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, you feel it at your core, right? Yeah. And why am I still crying? You know, you want to understand. There's nothing wrong with any of it. There's nothing wrong with any of it. It's being aware and going back and being who that child needed. That's what shadow work is. It's integrating. It's, yeah, okay, enough of that. I think you know what I mean. The wild child, you know, no inhibitions. I'm just going to do it, right? The artist. I think we can all relate to that, right? The caretaker. Oh my goodness, yes. Why do we feel the need to take care of everything, right? Yeah. The rebel. I'm not going to stand for that. The playful child. Yeah. Let's have some fun. Let's not just, you know, but is it avoidance? Can it be? Or is it just embracing life? It could be either of them things. The lonely child. Yeah. Yep. The protector. Yes. If you had siblings, if you have siblings, you definitely understand that, right? Yep. The storyteller. Yep. And I think about my own children too, believe me. I showed them these and they're like, wow. Yeah, because I was, by no means was I perfect. The invisible child I'm talking about as being a mom. I made plenty of mistakes, but I wasn't as aware then as I am now. And I can't go back and change them, but boy, I can be there now, right? And help them through their shadow work and understand that I am, what's the biggest thing that we can say is, I'm so sorry that I let you down. That's taking accountability, because we can't change anything, but we can tell them that we're sorry that they feel like we let them down. And we did until we didn't, you know what I mean? Until we're here now. And there's so much in that. There's so much power in that. The dreamer. Yes, absolutely. The angry child. That too. Now, the healing path. And this is the medicine to help us restore wholeness. Setting boundaries. Yes. Forgiveness of others. And we do that for us, right? That is for us. It's not to set anyone else free or take the accountability off of anyone else. It's literally to help us stop hanging on to something that is not serving us. Ancestral healing. Absolutely, because when you think about healing a generational trauma, oh my goodness, you're a warrior. Community support. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you have great support, that's half the battle too. Your sisters, your brothers. Yeah. Creative expression. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it don't matter where you're creating from. It's expressing something, and it's so important to help us let go and heal and move on, or just integrate. Inner child play. Yes. Go outside. Have fun. Yeah. Laugh. Play. Reparenting. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Therapy and journaling. Absolutely. Yes. I recommend therapy. I absolutely recommend journaling. Shadow integration. That's it. That is it right there. Yes. Spiritual practice. And it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever fulfills you, that's what's important. Yeah. And forgiveness of self. Oh my goodness. That's extremely important. Extremely. And I think it's the hardest. Compassion. Yep. So that's it. Again, the backs on these are not what I went with. So these are the standard smooth, because again, this is the cheaper version. And again, you are paying for a guidebook. And I will show you the guidebook. It's, it could use some work. But my sister helped me so that it would be a little bit easier for you to navigate. So let's get there. So I guess it would depend on whatever device you're using on how it loads for you. She's able to get the 2-pagers, and I'm not sure how to do that with mine, but so here we are. You can scroll, which was originally what I had, or she really hooked me up. You can go right to the table of contents. So this just, yeah. So table of contents, and then you know, introduction, welcome to the Shadow Work Oracle, a tool for meeting the hidden parts of yourself with compassion, courage, and truth. Shadow work is the process of exploring the aspects of ourselves that we often bury, ignore, or deny. So in here I talk about the wounds, the echoes in the inner child, and the healing path. So how to use this deck. So you've got a daily spread, a journaling companion, and then there's like a 3-card spread. You could do wound, echo, healing path. So, you know, you could separate them. Or the inner child spread, which is just 3 cards. What my child self needs, how can I nurture them, and what gift they hold for me. There's an integration spread. So again, you would want to separate these and then pull a card from each one. Ritual and meditation. You could place a card on your altar or in your sacred space and meditate with the image and the words. And that's one of the reasons why I picked very powerful images, okay? Because I know what they do for me. They invoke emotions big time. And please remember that this deck is not a replacement for professional mental health care. It's just a mirror. It's a companion to help you honor your inner journey. So always listen to your body and spirit, and seek support if you need it. Again, therapy. And yes, I did dedicate this to my sister because she has been pushing me, and I am so grateful because there are so many things that are inside of me just waiting to come out, you know, and because of her just believing in me and then helping me. Oh, I love you, Rachele. So she made this so that, again, you can either, that'll take you back to the table of contents, or it'll take you wherever you want to go. Like this is about the echoes, and this tells you why I picked this type of a sigil, and what it means. And these take you back to what that's about, you know. So, and then again, the page number takes you back to the table of contents. Yeah, and then I have a closing words. So this deck was born from 2 powerful truths. The first comes from the ACE study, which please look that up because it's been ongoing for longer than when I first heard. Like the first time I heard about it, we had a class on it, and the study was really having a comeback in 2016, I think. And it just blew me away. I was just blown away. I thought, oh my gosh, Carl Jung would be so proud of what we are doing today. So, and that shows us how deeply our early wounds shape our health, relationships, and futures. So, and then the second comes from what I do now as a family child caregiver, where I see every day how much children need love, patience, and safety in order to grow whole. Yes, because we learn, you know, we don't truly learn anything until we get out of the reptilian part of the brain, you know, the fight or flight mode. So if we're always fighting for safety or to feel safe, we're not really learning or growing, right? So if we are in that part of our brain where everything is a fight, then we're not learning and growing. So as adults, shadow work invites us to look back, to tend the wounds of our childhood, to listen to the voices of our inner child, and to release patterns that no longer serve us. I also had a class on conscious discipline. I've had a few classes on that. And what that means is all behavior is communication. So it's you know, this deck can help you see it in others, you know. And just to give you a little understanding, and if you use the guidebook with it, you will understand what that protector, you know, archetype is, or what the caretaker, you know, what it looks like if you're reacting from a place of feeling abandoned. You know, it leads to codependency. It leads to repetitive picking, you know, things in our lives that don't really serve us, you know, and so we got to have better boundaries. People pleasing, you know. When we heal our shadows, we remember what it truly feels like to be a child, vulnerable, imaginative, needing safety and love. So this remembrance can transform the way we care for the next generation. Yes, this is truly where I was going with this. Every kind word, every act of patience, every moment of presence becomes part of their foundation. So this oracle is not just a guide for adults. It is a call to see the children here and present now, because they are our future. And I am extremely passionate about that. And the more we heal ourselves, the more we can show up for them with open hearts and steady hands. So may these cards be a bridge between the past and the future, between your inner child and the children of today. So in healing ourselves, we help heal the generations to come. And believe me, I think about that with my own children and my grandbabies. And it does start in our own homes, you know. And yes, I look at the state of the world and I thought, if every one of us were aware of what we are doing in our own home, regardless of the things that we can't control, right? We're creating a better future for the little ones. And I think, to me, that's where my passion lies. I do have a lot of passion for what's going on in the world, but I have to heal my home first. You know, I have to be the best grandma I can be. as much as my daughters will give me, you know, control of that, you know what I mean? But it's really about the children. I mean, yes, we as adults have to do as much as we can, but in order to do that, we have to be healed, right? So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this, and visit my Make Playing Cards. I will put the link in here, since at least that first design was approved, but there are 2 more that will be approved shortly, hopefully. One of them is, the next 2 are the linen. I think linen without a tin, or maybe they both have tins. No, I think linen without the tin. Or no, linen with the tin. Linen with the tin, but no gilding. And then the third option is the Supreme Linen, or I think it's 31, with the tin and the holographic gilding. So that one is going to be pretty pricey. But then again, I will tell you too that this took a long time to create, and there was a lot of trial and error. And again, my formatting is not perfect. So because I was copying and pasting just to get it to this point, because I already had it written up, I just didn't have it formatted. So there are some mistakes that I found in here. And so I hope that you will forgive me. And that's part of the reason why I only upcharged a little bit. Like, I think it was 39% to cover pretty much just my time that I put into it. And then my sister is the one that made the links. She did the links for me. And thank you so much, Rachele, for doing that for me. Okay, so the links again there. There we go. Yep. So thank you for spending this time with me. When my other version does come in, I will be doing a walkthrough, but I'll probably do some spreads with it, and, you know, just so that you can see it. But I think this one was long enough, at least to give you an idea of what I got going on. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me, and thank you for supporting me. And I will see you. Yay! Yay!